Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you know, this channel is really dedicated to physical media, and I really love my physical media collection. I love the flexibility of it. I love being able to go to my shelves and pick out a title when I would like to see a movie or a TV show. But I thought I would take a few moments and talk about streaming services for a little bit, just because this came up in a live stream that I did with my good friend Stephanie over at Movie Chatter. And I'm going to link her channel in the description below also, so you can check out her channel. She's got amazing videos there as well. And we are doing live streams now every Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. But I wanted to talk a little bit about streaming, because to me, streaming is getting much more complicated these days, it feels like, especially with licensing agreements expiring and shows moving over to other services, or maybe you only have a certain service because you like one particular show. Maybe the show has disappeared from the service that you enjoyed. I know this week a lot of us have been going through the conversion from HBO Max to the Max service, which was a little bit rocky, but now it seems to be okay for me anyway. But I know there were a lot of concerns when a great show like Westworld, as an example, was pulled off that platform, so that if you enjoy that show, you have to go somewhere else to find it. You have to buy the show. So I'm really feeling as though, as I look at streaming services and physical media in the marketplace, I feel like now is really the best time to pick up that favorite movie that you like, that favorite TV show, the TV series that you enjoy, so that you have it in your collection, just in case a streaming service decides to either censor the show, cut the show in a different way, or even pull it off the service altogether. And I'll use one example. One of my absolute favorite shows is Breaking Bad, which I've seen many, many times. In fact, my wife and I are just getting ready to watch it maybe for a fifth time. And I picked this up on Blu-ray. I also have a digital copy of it as well, because it's a show that we regularly revisit. And this show, I feel like it started off on Netflix and then may have moved to AMC+. AMC had its own service for some time. And I thought, instead of waiting for this, one of my favorite shows, to move to different services or maybe pulled off a service, I need to buy the show. I need to have this show in my collection so that I can watch it whenever I like. And so that's what I've done with this particular show. And I do this with movies as well. And I feel like there's a lot of streaming services now that are editing their content. They are removing episodes, they're editing episodes. So I feel like now is the best time really to pick up that favorite movie or TV show that you like. The other thing I've noticed too is that I sometimes, even if I have a movie in my physical media collection, I definitely look to see if it's streaming. And sometimes, especially on Amazon, I have the Amazon streaming service, Prime, I noticed that it says currently unavailable for some movies and TV shows, which means that at this point, you either have to buy it maybe somewhere else, or maybe purchase a physical copy of it. And recently, I'll use some recent examples. I was looking for a movie with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton called Something's Gotta Give. And now this may have changed also since I'm making this video, but I was looking to see if this movie was streaming, and I noticed that it was unavailable. And you couldn't even purchase it, I believe, at least on the streaming services that I looked at the time. So luckily I have a copy on DVD. I don't think this has a Blu-ray release. Again, I could be wrong, so please correct me feel free to correct me on any of this in the comments, by the way. But this is one of the movies. Also, I was recently interested, of course, I love Martin Scorsese movies. I'm interested in the new movie that he's got coming out, Killers of the Flower Moon. Let me know if you've seen that trailer also, maybe, and what you think about that. But I'm really excited for that film to come out. But I was interested in watching one of his other films, Cape Fear, which is a extremely dramatic, brutal movie almost. And so I was looking for this, and I wanted to see if it was streaming anywhere, and I noticed that it wasn't. And again, not even available. So I would have had to pick up a copy anyway. Luckily, I had a copy in my physical media collection, so I went over to my shelf and I put the movie in. But sometimes I do see if a movie or TV show is already streaming, just because it's a convenience for me to be able to just think of a movie, find it on a streaming service, and then play it. But of course, if again, it may be a movie that I already have in my collection, so I could always go to my shelf and put it on. So I just feel like the landscape at this point is getting very complicated with streaming services. There's upgrades going on. We have a number of streaming services, and I think we'll continue to have. I love the convenience of the streaming service. I'm not saying streaming services are bad either. They're great for previewing titles that maybe you want to see on physical media. They're very convenient, as I said. But it feels like just when I get into a show, sometimes it gets pulled off my favorite streaming service, or and then I have to look for it someplace else. And there have been occasions too where I've been watching a show and I really can't find it anywhere else, and I have to buy the show. So again, let me know what your experience has been. I just thought I would make this video to kind of share my thoughts on how I feel about physical media and streaming services at this point. Again, I think it's great for previewing titles and lots of flexibility with it also. Obviously, if you travel and you want to have something on a mobile device, you can't bring your whole physical media collection with you. So lots of pluses also for streaming services. So please leave me a comment or a question below. This is an interesting topic. I think it's an ever-evolving situation in the marketplace, and I'd be very much interested to know how you use your streaming services. What's your favorite streaming service? Have you had to switch recently? Do you have both a physical media collection and a streaming service? I think there's definitely place for both. But again, as I mentioned, this is a physical media channel primarily, and I love my physical media collection. I love being able to go to my shelves. So thanks so much for watching this video today. If you like this video, click on like. If this is your first video on the channel, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.